Finally tonight, we are all at sea. 4 men, 1 boat and 3,000 miles. They're rowing from Australia to Mauritius. And by the looks of it, they're all completely unsupported. Let's hope they like a challenge. The Indian Ocean. Land a distant memory with only an albatross for company.
Right, I think it's official, I'm going mad. I think the other boys probably are too. I'm talking to myself quite a lot now.
Wild weather, deadly currents and broken bodies.
The sea continues to punish us. This environment is completely unforgiving. My body at the moment is in utter pain.
In April, an army captain from Dorset and 3 chartered surveyors set out. What they knew would be a great physical challenge would also question their beliefs.
I think over the last week or so, our faith in God certainly has been really tested.
Wellesley, what's up? I can't believe I'm the first one to cry.
This epic journey has taken the team 3 years to plan and train for.
It is exactly 8 o'clock in the evening on Friday the 11th of March.
The team is preparing to row more than 3,000 miles from Australia to Mauritius. That's 3,000 miles worth of legs and arms. Engines are for wimps.
So what does that represent?
Our sleeping area and the area we're confined to.
Okay.
It's a pretty square boat.
Next stop, Geraldton, on the west coast of Australia. Time for the crew to acclimatise whilst they wait for their boat to arrive. Indian Runner 4 is 29 feet long with a small sleeping cabin at each end. It'll have to carry everything the 4 men will need for around 70 days at sea.
We just haven't got a clue what's out there, both in terms of how we'll cope physically, mentally, how I will cope personally with being at sea. I've never been at sea before. I'm looking forward to the experience. I'm looking forward to seeing how I cope.
I don't really have any doubts as to whether we can do it or not. The only problems can be the unpredictable weather and the ocean, and I think that's the only thing that will stop us. Dear Diary.
To supplement Ed's journal, the crew will film a video diary of their voyage. They've got to rack up 50 miles a day, rowing around the clock if they're to beat the record of 69 days.
Nearly there yet.
Wind's been pushing against us all day, and now it's started tipping with rain. There's Cardi and Ed out on the oars. I've battened down the hatches inside. I'm about to go on in 25 minutes, and I tell you what, we didn't sign up for this.
2.5 weeks in, and unfavourable crosswinds are slowing progress. Skipper James has tendinitis in his lower legs.
The sea continues to punish us. This environment is completely unforgiving. My body at the moment is in utter pain. My right shoulder, so every time I pull on the oar, it's like feels like someone's trying to rip my arm out of its socket. With a further 50 days to go, I really need to find some form of equilibrium or pain threshold that is sustainable for the rest of this trip.
Day 22, Saturday the 14th of May, and we're just having our 1,000-mile celebration.
Awesome party, Kylie.
It's pretty good. I'm glad so many people could come.
What was the theme?
The theme was row your boat.
And you've come as a caveman.
I thought I'd just give you a little insight into my view most afternoons and mornings.
But a month in, a series of equipment failures and uncooperative winds are taking their toll.
Wellesley, what's up? I can't believe I'm the first one to cry. Why is it so emotional?
You'll be right.
Well, nothing just seems to work, and we just can't seem to find a solution to the steering. And now we've got amazing conditions to row in, and the foot steering's gone wrong, the hand steering's gone wrong. We've broken 2 autopilots, and we've got 1,800 miles to go.
When you put it like that, I feel like crying as well.
looking a bit bleak at the moment, but we'll get through it.
This is probably the lowest point that I've had so far, and we've got to really grit now. It's grin and bear it time, and we need to work as a team to ensure that we succeed.
It's 25th of May, and I think it's fair to say we're deteriorating. I think we're all losing weight now. We're eating loads and loads of food. Today we're having a double ration for lunch because we're all so hungry for some reason. That is as far as I can close my fingers. So I've got to wake up early now so that I can do these sort of exercises for 10 minutes or so to make sure that I can grip an oar.
The poor conditions continue and they can't increase their daily mileage. They're beginning to feel it's an impossible task.
I've been going over and over in my head what it would be like if we don't get this record, and I've been so confident up until this point, well, for the last 3 years, that we were going to do it, and now maybe it's slowly slipping from our grasp. I don't know.
After weeks of seeing nothing but the horizon and each other, a spectacular visitor comes to call.
What have you spotted, Ed? What have you spotted? Baby whale, mate. First whale underneath the boat. We had a whole hour, probably an hour, hour and a half, swimming with this amazing whale. It took it in turns to jump in the water. I went first and was pretty apprehensive, I can tell you. I wasn't really sure whether whales eat you or not. I didn't think they did. Wow! Diving with a whale in the middle of the Indian Ocean with 6 kilometres of water below us. I mean, it's just amazing.
Down to 8 miles a day instead of the target 50, the crew now knows they've lost the record. To add to their misery, with only 100 miles to Mauritius, the wind and the sea are against them again. They reluctantly deploy the power anchor to stop drifting backwards.
100 miles should really only be a couple of days. 4 days ago we were only 135 miles away, but we just can't get near the island. We're being pushed too far south, so if we're pushed further south we'll never make the island.
4 days later, the end is in sight.
But what I've just learned, we're now only a mile from the finish, so what I'm going to do is just tell the rest of the guys how we're doing. Guys!
They're a good stone lighter each in weight, and scientific tests show their brain reaction times have actually slowed down. And on dry land in Mauritius with their coach Nick Knight, the team gives a press conference.
Rupert Harding, News of the World. Is it true you prayed every day?
Dad gave us a set of sort of thoughts of the day, which we did actually really genuinely found of huge encouragement, actually. And then we used to finish off with a hymn, and none of us knew the words.
Can we have a rendition?
Okay, we'll give you a little song. You know we belong together forever and ever, no matter where you are. You're my guiding star.
As their families meet them at the finish, time to reflect on an experience few people will ever have.
So there's been some pretty big highs and lows. I was asked yesterday whether or not I was finally at one with the ocean. I think I probably am now.